business, so we shall begin. I guess you can turn your microphones on. Nathan just messaged that he would be here if he was needed, but I told him we didn't need him, so. Looks like we have Mr. Stengel, Mr. Limlin, Mr. Fable, Mr. Bauer, and Mr. Moore. Approval of the minutes from November, those are on here, are they not? November 25th, to be exact.
Make a motion to approve minutes as presented for the November 25th meeting.
I'll second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion or question? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. The bylaws, I think we're final. Are we not final? Ready to approve, vote? I think you made copies for everybody, right?
We made some editing, readability changes. There are a couple of, because this was reformatted again today just at the last minute, so there's some little things that are bugging me that I'll change. For instance, Article 5, the heading being at the bottom of the page, that stuff just for readability needs cleaned up. Substantively, the only change that was discussed that I would propose, actually I'm looking at, there's two. In Section 2, election and term of office, I'm proposing that we amend so that elections are held every 2 years and not every year. It seems a bit overkill to do it every year. That's just a suggestion because I think procedurally it helps our director run some things. And then when we get to the officers, after having spoken with our director at length about practical duties and the rest of it, I think John could probably speak to this as well. The treasurer position is like, it's almost a superfluous position at this point because we've always had one, but most of the day-to-day is being done by our director. There's very few checks that are actually being cut at this point. And the idea was that we would combine the secretary-treasurer position together because there's just not much to do as a treasurer aside from maybe checking things. But for the most part, again, like on another board, treasurer might be doing the reports each month, but that's being folded into the director's report already. So by law, we don't have to have a treasurer's position as a standalone. So just for sake of economy, and again, with the meta-narrative idea being we're tightening up our bylaws to reflect what we're actually doing, is I thought, well, I would propose that those positions be rolled into the same position. So aside from that, there aren't any substantive changes that weren't discussed last time.
And just to refresh, we did change the quorum officially to 4 members. Forever it had been 5. And as far as the terms, for a long time, they were 2-year terms. I don't know when it got changed to 1 year, but to make it back to 2 years is very logical. Any other question on the bylaws?
John, if you want to fight for a standalone treasurer position,
No,
I'm going to honor that. If that's something like you really want to do.
I'm sure we could handle both positions.
I'm hoping that she does, because if it gets folded into the secretary and I get reelected as secretary, I don't want to have to deal with the treasurer's stuff.
I'm not going to sign the checks, though.
Right,
still can-
understood,
yeah.
right.
Right.
As a checks and balances, that
Yeah.
should stay the way it is, or, correct?
Yeah.
The way we've been doing things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I do have one question based on what Aaron just asked. Did you just say that the bylaws say that the quorum is 4? So later in the agenda, we're talking about positions and the number of people that must be on the board. So does that hold? Jonathan, do you know what I'm referring to? That the number per the state law is 10?
mean,
And
what
so
it
does
says
4
currently is
stand?
what the state initiated 20-some years ago, so
Right.
we probably ought to leave that alone.
We're required to leave it alone because that statute has not been repealed, so absolutely, what we are all saying makes sense is that we should be allowed to take the number to a reasonable number, a workable number, and a number that we have used for years. But because that statute hasn't been repealed with some of the other benefits and is still the standalone, this is the way that the UEZs, UEAs are set up. My legal opinion is we're not free to disregard that statutory directive, so we have to have that language in there. But if we can't get boards to appoint additional members, we can still function practically by reducing the quorum to 4.
Okay, so quorum can stand.
So part of that was reactionary to being stuck with what the statutes say we have to do.
And we have 2 vacancies on the board, and we struggle virtually every meeting to have 5 members, that's the logic to changing to 4, so.
I will make a motion to approve the bylaws as amended and presented today.
Second.
And these will be dated and signed, I presume, adoption date, yeah. Motion's made and seconded. Any other concerns, questions? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let it read unanimous. I think we'll approve the officers, instead of independently, we'll do them as the 3 positions that are listed, as shown on your agenda. Is there a motion for that?
Make the motion to approve officers as presented.
I'll second.
Any other nominations? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, treasurer's report, Shirley is next.
Okay. As of yesterday, you can see we had $74,237 in the bank. And you have attached here the profit and loss in the balance sheet.
Are there any known outstanding
No,
obligations?
No. everything's paid up.
Okay. What about any outstanding filings that have not been paid to us yet from 2024, I guess?
From our program,
Yeah,
everything's been paid.
everything's been paid, okay.
Yep, we got everything paid.
That's good, because that's not always been the case. In
Yeah.
fact, it's usually not the case.
Yeah, now, I did go back and look, Mr. President, that at the end of 2024, we had 64,000 to start the new year. And this year, we've got 74, so we went up, and that's not counting everything that we already gave away this year.
Great.
I want to bring up that there's a new pizza place opening up on First of May.
The what?
I just heard there's going to be a new pizza
Oh, where at?
place on First of May.
Yeah, I think it's the old
Where
Gray's
Gray's
building.
used to be, it's Vinyl Pies.
Yeah.
The old Grays building,
Yep. They're from, North Carolina, they're branching out.
do you think they're gonna do repairs on the building?
I'm not sure what they're going to do.
I'm sure there'll be some capital equipment that goes in there. There would have to be.
You're right.
Well, that new threshold is now $2 million inside the building for personal property, there's some state changes.
Yeah, okay. That may
It's
be,
a lot of pizza.
yeah. It may be tough.
So,
Um,
if you had any questions about the profit and loss or the balance sheet, you can see that we brought in, I changed glasses here.
59,000?
Yeah, 59,000 in our program. It don't sound like a lot, but it is to us. On the profit and loss, where you see the art guild and the chamber utilities under expenses, we're able to recoup those. But this year, the city didn't pay for all of the art guild utilities. So we was unable to get all that back this year.
But the county did pay their half.
Pardon?
The county did pay their half.
The county did pay theirs. Well, the county didn't pay on the art guild. They paid on the chamber
Chamber.
utilities, yeah. We collected all that. But, this was under, so you understand, under the Hatcher administration,
Yeah.
when they inherited that building, the old, chamber
Savings and loan
building that
building.
used to be on Third Street, a contract was made that we would forever pay for those utilities, the city would. But because they couldn't find the contract, the treasurer would not pay it this year.
And since we own the building, we either pay it or play hardball.
Yeah. So anyway, they did make a resolution that they'll continue to pay it. So
The
we'll-
council,
Yeah,
okay.
so I'll get 3 months of 2025, and they'll start paying it again in 26.
Okay, great.
So, yeah. So, anyway, we figured that we got, where am I at here? I know. The financial obligations that's outstanding, we figure to be $20,000. Now, we would like to suggest that we have, you'll see that on there, 2026 attorney retainer. We would like to go ahead and pay that money out between $2,000 or $3,000, of course, with your approval, to our attorney, to have that out of the way, because I can call him anytime and he'll answer my questions. And we'd like to put him on a retainer.
Let's vote first of all on the treasurer's report, the P and L and the balance sheet. Let's vote on that first.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I do have one other quick question on what's the outside contract services, $1,681?
What's that now?
Under the expenses, it says outside contract services, $1,681.
That is the expenses, for the Pocket Park and the roof at, the Chamber Building.
Oh, okay.
Remember when we did the Pocket Park, we said as long as we're in existence, that we would pay for
Yeah.
those expenses down there. But if we ever dissolved, then the city would take them over.
Right.
That's what that is. And they do that 4 times a year. Take care of everything down there.
Okay, so now to the retainer, do you have a recommended amount? You have a range listed here.
Yeah, I would recommend 2,500, because in 2024, I went back and looked it up. In 2024, we paid 700, and in 2025, I think it was 14 something. And I'm just saying 25 to make sure that it covers everything. Now, what he doesn't use will go over to the next year.
Okay,
I think that's fair.
The
certainly indicate the only reason that any invoices were sent was because at some point it becomes proper to send something, but, there was, and I was happy to do it, there's a lot of pro bono that was put in, and certainly that $2,500 retainer would have been exhausted. And even so, with some retainer, there will be some donated time with it. It's just at some point, I think it becomes fair to my office and staff, but otherwise, I do plan to continue with the board's approval, drafting and reviewing and being available. But I will keep actual track of time as opposed to doing it how it's been done in the past.
And I think we would also say that we lean heavily on time, 24 for sure, when it's really first thing in the office. 25 a little bit, we're getting our groove now, so it's a little bit easier for us not to have to
Yep.
do as much. But we'll be real clear on what does involve him leaving.
Yeah, well, late 24 into 25, I mean, we have to, the council became our sanctioning body, and so we had to digest, you had to digest all of the form changes, all the headaches at the courthouse, and I know Jonathan was intimately involved with that. And then, of course, later in the year, we redid these bylaws that were 20-some years old, so a lot of extra work that likely we won't have going forward, so. Is there a motion for $2,500 attorney retainer?
So, well, it's 25 enough then, if he's saying that 25 would have been exhausted, do we wanna stick with that number, or do we wanna bump it to the high end of the $3,000 for the retainer?
Well, I don't know that we'll need as much in the future. I mean, the pro bono, I think, he's already expressed his water under the bridge.
And I appreciate that, Shane, I'm comfortable with 2,500.
Well, in that case, then I'll make the motion to approve the $2,500 retainer fee.
And Lonnie seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
So that would leave us 51,237 that we can spend if we have some, some grant
Right.
money that you wanna do.
and I see your note, you're changing software on the accounting system.
Yeah, QuickBooks, I don't know if any of you work with QuickBooks or not, but their pricing is just out of the world.
I use a version so old that
That's what we're doing, but
it's,
yeah, it's really old. And so we're gonna try this Soho.
okay.
It's free, and see if
Gotcha.
it works. If it doesn't, we'll come back to you.
Okay, under old business, Harmony Society, at our direction, did submit a quasi bid that, and they, as they had explained to us in previous visits, they tried multiple individuals to offer a bid on their project. Nobody would, but, we went back and said, look, you've gotta have someone come and say, I've looked at it at least, and we have that before us. They did not bid it because they say they're overloaded, and so we have, the initial bid that I think we were all very comfortable with. I mean, in fact, I felt it was a little bit low, but, the total for the door, all the framing work that needs to be done, repair work, et cetera, was $12,400. And that was an Amish crew, it would appear. I think they've actually started it, or
Yeah.
about to complete it, or
They were working on it this morning when I drove past.
is it? Are we comfortable with half of that amount, which has been our past practice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a motion for half of 12,400?
I'll make that motion, and I would, in making that motion, indicate we've just approved the November 2025 minutes, and it indicates after going through the general discussion that we had, possibility of funding estimates, the rest of it, the board is disposed favorably to the project. So even last time when they came and presented, we indicated that we were favorable to their project. So I would move to fund it by 50%.
Second.
Is that the back door,
Front.
the front door?
Front door.
Okay, they gotta address the limestone and the pillars. That's
$6,200.
That's a separate project. I'm sure they'll be back.
Yeah, we told them they could come back for
Yeah.
that.
Okay, the motion was made and seconded. Any other discussion?
So that's 6,200?
Uh-huh. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, no new requests for funding. Anything in your director's report you wanna highlight, Shirley?
Only that, we're pursuing, these, Dunkin' Donuts, the Firehouse Plats, and Thorn Auto. Sean brought this to our attention. Thorn Auto, they're at 9th and Main, and we have talked to them. They've been in to talk to us, and we're gonna get them set up.
And they also asked about funding.
Yes, and they also would like to have some funding. They're just now getting started. But they haven't, they'll probably be at our next meeting.
John, is there any update on Firehouse Flats from 30 or 40 days ago? No? Okay,
Can I talk about the second bullet point for just a moment?
sure.
So, not included in the treasurer's numbers are income coming in from this year's fees that we earn from those deductions. So we will not know how to calculate those until the treasurer's statements come up, but those will be obviously above the 52,000 that Shirley said a few minutes ago. So that's not included in the numbers, but it's coming in. So by June of this year, this next round of money will be coming in.
Right. Okay, do we wanna still meet every other month? Is that what you're suggesting? Does anybody have any, or as needed? I forget what our bylaws said. Is it off the top of your head, Jonathan? It was in there, I thought.
It is in there.
I think we said we'd meet quarterly. I just want to verify that's what we want to continue doing.
Or unless, if, for example, someone came out with a grant application, you want them to do it.
At least quarterly. Section 2, general meetings. General meetings of the organization shall be held at least quarterly on a date selected by the board president.
Okay. And you don't, you,
Someone showed up next week with a funding application. You want them to read months and hold off any changes until they can
I
get.
guess it depends on the size and the scope.
Yeah.
We'll take it on a case-by-case basis, but I think quarterly is adequate, given our current status, and we have no impending requests that we know of, so, other
I think-
than the secondary Harmony project, but,
I think that'd also help. I mean, the quorum got changed to try to suffice what we have here, but I think the quarterly meetings would be a little more feasible, getting the entirety
Yeah.
of the board here, hopefully.
But an application that has probably been less than quarterly in the last 2 years,
right.
right?
Right.
So the difficulty of getting more board members here.
But technically, the state dissolved us. One could argue the state dissolved us because they discontinued the program and the guidance of the program, so the city took over and had a resolution.
Resurrected us.
Resurrected us
Yeah.
by resolution, so. So we're looking at April. And Thursdays work well for me, I don't know about anybody else.
I'll try it, but
So I'll just check with you.
By email, just the second or third Thursday of April, something like that.
And can I just ask, if the treasurer's statements are not available by then, or could help us project income, can we push that further back if a couple of weeks would get us those statements and we could have that?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I mean, we're at the end of January, so. Okay, are you going to resurrect trying to get the
Yeah,
council and the mayor to fill our vacancies
Yeah,
that we've
I-
had?
now the council's at 4 appointments. The council gets 4 appointments and the mayor gets 6 appointments. Council's completed theirs. And I've talked to the mayor and he knows he's got a .3.
Okay,
And we kind of went by the guidelines from the state, and you can see what they suggest, that we have people from these different areas of the community working on our committee. And I've kind of lined them up there where you're gonna fall at. So, this next week I'll talk to the mayor again and tell him those 3 areas is where we need them from, unless you got some suggestions, and I can mention those to the mayor.
would you know of anyone in the building trade sector from your experience that would be willing to serve?
Well, I suggested someone, but he turned us down
Okay,
on the
Building
building
trades.
trades.
well, let's see what the mayor comes up with. After all, they are his appointments. We can give suggestions. I know Nathan was an addition that we kind of sought out, but mayor went along with it, so.
Do you think, Shirley, and I'm not asking this with any subtext, is the mayor interested in these appointments? Does he see them as necessary, or is this something that's just not a priority?
The last time I talked to him was last week, and he seemed interested in filling these positions,
Okay, very good.
but, I don't know who with.
Right, okay. So that's more of the issue, is appropriate availability of a member as opposed to any lack of interest. We just need to maybe start finding the right people.
Yeah. Now, Jonathan, let me ask you this. If we don't find him, can we go ahead and maintain our association?
We maintain our association and we continue to move forward with the board members who have been appointed, because we have no authority over the appointing representative. If they don't do their job, for whatever reason, we still do our job.
So that's what I'm gonna tell the mayor.
Right.
That we're gonna continue, if he wants to appoint somebody, that's okay.
Right.
But we're gonna continue to operate.
And I don't think we've had a full slate for more than a decade.
I agree.
You what?
We've not had a full slate for far more than a decade.
Yeah.
It's been that long. I mean, I know the entire time I've been on, it's usually certain ones or whatever, like state representatives, people from the state that's supposed to be on, that's not, but then they dissolved, so.
Yeah.
Is there any way we could maybe write a letter to the state and tell them that we don't need 10 members, that they maybe could change that?
They can't change it for us without repealing the statute.
Oh,
But what they need to do is repeal the statute. Why, just from a legal standpoint, I don't understand why, if you're going to take away all of the benefits to creating an organization, and then you're gonna tell the organization it no longer exists at a state level, go talk to your local legislatures, then why do you have the creation statute still on the books? It's because nobody cares. Nobody's looking at this.
I think it's
This
something
thing's
they've
had its day in
overlooked.
the sunshine on the state level, and nobody cares at the state level anymore. It's all just deal with it at the local level, which is fine, except that you still have a state statute that tells us what our composition has to be.
In state forms.
State forms, right. But Shirley, I'm not opposed to that idea of you sending a letter saying, hey, could you maybe repeal this statute? You've kicked this stuff back to the county. Can we not maybe then organize our own board? Why do we need to still abide by your composition statute if you're no longer interested in enforcing it? And maybe just a letter to the right person, what's it to them to repeal the statute?
We can do that?
I think I'd be okay with you writing a
Okay.
well-worded letter to them, and if you want, you and I could work on that together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because in the minutes will say everything that Jonathan just said.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we start with our representatives of the city of Vincennes, the state senator's retiring and our state representative, does the city fall under Bruce Borders? I know he has half
Yes.
the county, but does he have the city in the northern half of the county or just the northern half of the county? Does anybody know?
Just part of Knox County.
I mean, I live in the city. It
It's-
seems to me I
it's-
vote for him.
So Bruce Borders has
Or that
the
office.
northern part, and then, Matt,
Hosteller?
that guy has the other half, and I know that because of where I work at. I deliver a lot of political stuff, like to the post office, and it's split between the county. Like my buddy goes on that side of town, has Bruce Borders.
I don't think the city is
I
split
have
though,
Matt
is it?
on that other side.
Is the city split? I don't know either.
Is that the office Kelly Streeter's gonna run for?
Yes, 45, District 45.
That's what I thought.
And I live in the city and I vote pretty sure District 45. Cause I remember Borders, I mean, he's been in the state legislature for eons.
It
Anyway,
is.
that's just a suggestion, start with those two. Our state senator's from Washington, I can't think of his name now, but he's retiring
It is Bruce Borders.
in the city.
I thought it
Yes.
was.
Is this letter coming from Shirley or from Marilyn?
I think it's best coming from the director who's doing the directing, but I will write it with Shirley.
Okay. Just something else I wanna point out on the director's report. I got those bullet points.
Mm-hmm.
The city's doing a new website, so we've been working with them to put our information on there also. The forms and all the forms that they have to fill out. We're putting those on our website under UEA.
Great.
We're 50% done on that. And the last one, we are going digital to allow us to email more and get the information out to them. We just want you to know we're not sitting here, we're doing other things.
Okay, that's great. So everybody's headed. Anything else for the good of the cause?
I will make a motion to adjourn at an appropriate time.
Motion's been made,
So moved.
seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.